Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Vlad the Impaler, Dracula. My apologies about the light in here. The clouds going in and out, so I've ended up closing the windows, open them so I can actually see, and then suddenly it goes light again. So if it sort of suddenly goes a bit too bright, my apologies. But this is by Roy Thomas, Esteban Maroto. I love his artwork. I love his artwork. Superb. Anyway, this is all about Dracula. This is one of the most well-known characters in the world. Now read the story, the man who inspired the legend in this graphic. So this is more an origin story. There is no sort of brides of Dracula. There's no sort of fangs. Well, there's a bit of that, but not very much. We're talking minuscule in terms of that. This is all about the various. So I might as well read it from the back. A prince of, and I can't say it, Valachia, son of Vlad. My apologies. Vlad Dracula, the dragon. Vlad Dracula the Younger is taken hostage as a young man by Sultan Mehmed I to ensure his father's loyalty. And that's the general drift of the story. There's a lot of politics, lots of conflict, lots of war, lots of vicious, violent action, lots of people, heads on spikes, people, yes, very painful. Lots of people having their heads lopped off. So if you're not really into that, you don't want any violence, you certainly will not enjoy this. This is to provide the inspiration for the famous character. Now, this is 96 pages. This is from IDW. Now, apparently there was 30 years ago, apparently there was obviously some comics. I don't know anything about them, absolutely nothing. And unfortunately, there's no introduction. Why? Why don't they include introductions? Just a little bit of detail would be nice. Esteban Maroto sort of giving a bit of reasoning behind it. Apparently 3 pages were lost, so they've actually had to take them from the comic books. That's the only reference to it. It's the only thing I've got going for it. So 30 years ago, some work. Now it's in black and white. I don't know if that means it was originally in colour. No idea. But however, I am Dracula. So you can see a bit of fangs, which is unusual because he's obviously, for the rest of the book, he's not really like that at all. So anyone coming to it thinking, oh, it's going to be a standard sort of Dracula. No, this is literally the origin story of Dracula. We get him when he's really young and he has no inkling that he's going to become so much. But there's references, of course, all the way through to his immortality and all those sorts of things. But beyond that, you've got to hear about the castle. He's got talking about my castle, etc., etc. So you've got here, I was born of warm flesh, warm blood. And you've got just beautiful artwork. And this is one of the things that's slight criticism of this book, because I would have loved it to have been a massive, big artist edition, or maybe a gallery edition, or some sort of, certainly a bigger format than this. Because just the artwork is just so beautiful that it would have been, why not bring it out in a much bigger, just never works so well when you've got a really tiny little volume like this. Just feels not right when you've got a master artist like Maroto. However, as I say, it is violent. There's straight away, a couple of pages in, you got a head lopped off. He shouldn't have argued with it. Turning away and whispering away in the background wasn't a good idea. Not great. However, there's violence all the way through. You've got the Turks, you've got various backwards and forwards, lots of people, so swears Vlad Dracula and all those things. And there's lots of people battling, and he's not a very forgiving guy. Not forgiving. So perishes all enemies of Dracula, as he says, as he does some lovely, not many, but there's a few pages like that where you've got sort of big full-on page there. Just love that. But there's a lot of conflicts, wars all the way through it. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be a good scene. You've got a guy just with a hammer with a big stick just above someone's head. You know what's going to happen. Not pleasant. And there's quite a few panels like that. The Forest of the Impaled, which I suppose is a big clue in the name. I'm not giving much of a spoiler away. Vlad the Impaler. There's a lot of impaling in this. I think just the artwork is superb. The artwork slightly changes at the end. Weird. I don't think it's very... This is the thing. It's quite light at places. Lots of flowing lines. And then there's some bits where it gets really quite chunky. And near enough, you can actually see the pencil. Actually, you can. I'm quite certain. You can actually see the pencil work in here as well. There's a lot of sort of pencil work, and just about faint pencil work there. Again, that's why it would have been so good if it had been an artisan edition. Especially artisan editions are not too expensive. They're just beautiful quality paper, and they're really great reproductions. I mean, this is fine. I mean, this is lovely. Absolutely glorious. But still, it's not Could have been so much better. That's the only criticism. But story-wise, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was a great sort of going through Dracula's life. And now you can really tell the difference. I'm just going to go, there's a page, yeah, there's the page, one of the pages that's from the comic book that obviously they scanned, and you can really see it's a lot rougher, which is such a pity that obviously that was lost. But still, I think this is just absolutely good. There's no extras particularly. There's a few bits at the back. There's a few sort of pin-up pages, pin-up pages of Dracula. And then on to the last page. Well, that's it. Just goes, he's going off into the distance with a bit of, obviously, someone impaled in the scene. Well, this is just a superb book. I love this. 96 pages, absolute classic. I really thoroughly enjoyed this black and white. Obviously, Esteban Maroto is always great. So many brilliant books. And I hope they continue bringing out, IDW, bringing out more and more of his old works. I assume there's a lot more to come out. I would love that. And I will definitely be buying them because I do really think his work is great. And this volume, superb. But like I say, could have been even better by being in a bigger volume. Would have been great. Totally recommended though, all the same.